This is going to be funny in a different kind of way. So that's my attempt at a joke. Yeah, so thank you to Creative Mornings, thank you Melanie for inviting us here today. It's a great pleasure and yeah, the perfect way to finish off our final year. So yeah, my name's Tom. I run Barry Magazine and Barry Business Club, based where I live with my girlfriend. And we had our second event for our networking event yesterday. Actually, it went really well.
Oh,
it's good. Good to know. But I also used to be in a band called Radio Heroes. I have no idea why I just screenshot the Spotify. I just used like any picture. But maybe I wanted to show off like the plays, but you can't even see it. So doesn't really matter. But yeah, we played some cool festivals. Got to play at Maidvale, and we got to do some cameos and some music videos as well with Storm and Shelter. So yeah, shout out to them. If you need a music video, yeah. Okay. But yeah, so that's just a small cameo. I'm supposed to be the client in this. Ordering someone for taking a picture of a pineapple. I have no idea. Here's a picture of me looking slightly confused on stage, which is exactly how I am now. And kind of probably thinking, you know what, let's pack the music thing in for a bit. Let's go and get a design degree at Cardiff Metropolitan University on the BA Graphic Communications course. And that's exactly what I did. And yeah, so I've been here for the last 2 years, been involved in some really great projects, met some great people. It's been a really great experience, really. And it's really informed, I won some awards as well, which is nice. I've got to mention this. But yeah, it's been great. It's really kind of informed my view of design and kind of the social impact it has as well, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So yeah, one of my favourite definitions of wonder, it's not a direct definition really, but it's I guess it's more of like the process, is to feel doubt. Now I think doubt is like essential to my creative process, especially because without doubt I wouldn't be able to get to the, kind of those outcomes which are probably the most creative, probably the most unpredictable and the most exciting as well. But we doubt ourselves every day, and I've spent a week doubting myself that I could do this presentation, I'd be rubbish at public speaking, and really these are just lies that we tell ourselves, and kind of just with any piece of information, the more we tell ourselves it, the more someone tells us it's true, the more likely we are to believe it. And it's kind of these moments of wonder that made me think of what I could do for my final major project. But there's one problem, and I'm a chronic overthinker, so as soon as someone tells you that, you can just kind of do anything for your project, which is essentially what it was. I mean, David will probably argue otherwise. But yeah, whenever someone says that to me, my head goes into overdrive. And I started to think of like all the possibilities that I could ever do. And so I kind of got a bit lost and started to just like write down everything, question myself what I wanted to do, who I thought it was. But really, I think I missed a slide there. But really, I started to think of things that I was interested in, kind of like important questions that were going on in society at the moment. And I kind of settled on a few things that I was interested in, such as the climate change debate. I was looking at like Russia for a week, and then I wasted a week looking at like researching at like Russia and misinformation. And that's a whole different presentation. But yeah, so I was looking at the practice of the climate change debate, which I guess it shouldn't even be a debate, let's be honest. But so I'm looking at the different sides of kind of what people believed. And I was kind of trying to work out how people would come to those conclusions. And even like some of the most wacky ones, like how do they believe what they believe, and why do they believe it, and why do they believe it so passionately. And that's got me thinking, like, you could give two people the same set of information or the same facts, but they would both come out with different conclusions, or both try to kind of like work their way around that fact to kind of suit their own belief. And I'm quite a skeptical person, so I guess that's what kind of led me to this. And I hardly ever try to kind of take anything at face value. So I always try and get trying to understand people's views before I make my own kind of mind up. But that's kind of like doing all this research online and trying to figure out a certain path. It kind of leads you to seeing all these different opinions, and it's really difficult to kind of decide on like what's actually true and what to trust as well. And this got me thinking we're all really easily misled online, and this is part of due to misinformation and how much misinformation is out there. And our constant contact with misinformation leads people to stop trusting what they see and hear, and our increased access to information leads people to believe that they have just as much knowledge as the leading experts. So I was doing some further research and looking at where the sources of information and like online were. 2/3 of people receive their news from social media now, and people obviously self-select news depending on like what bias they have. And we all know we're living in kind of like an echo chamber of belief basically. And yeah, 60% of people don't read past the headline. So it's great news for my magazine that I'm doing. So pictures. Yeah, so obviously clickbait and sensationalized stories get kind of like pushed to the top, and that's kind of like we're now tailoring things for quick consumption rather than people don't really want to go into detail about things. They'd rather just like get it now, and kind of you never really get the whole context of what you're reading if you just read like a few words. So I was looking at more research on MIT, and they said that false news spreads further, faster, and broader than true news in every single category. I think that's basically on Twitter. But this is kind of like where you get the most kind of like sensationalized and kind of like out there kind of opinion with like anti-vax, for example. And people have like the facilities to gather the correct data and like look at the facts, but they choose not to. And they rationally try to, instead of rationally trying to analyze it, you just disregard it instead. So I guess what I'm getting at is we only see fragments of information, and instead of building up a whole picture of what is true. And so my kind of conclusion is that the truth is being redefined, and there's no kind of truth in the line anymore. It all depends on your perspective and what you believe. And so this brings me to my project for Variable Truths, and my objective for this was to create an engaging, interactive exhibit that would engage the user in the manipulation of information. But we'd also take them on an experience that they would engage with an interactive website, which would kind of like question what they trusted, and as you progress, it kind of gets a little more kind of like distrusting. You get the camera will show your face at one point, and people would start to think, actually I kind of want to stop what I'm doing there. But yeah, so the more you get through it, and at the end, a small piece of information is printed, which relates to these 3 posters, which are cut up into 48 different parts. So essentially, you'll end up with the last one on basically an misinformation wall. So this is basically saying that we're taking part in it. We're all kind of involved in misinformation, and it's not just something that doesn't happen with us not being involved. It's not just a separate thing, but we're all involved in it as well. And that's my dad, by the way, trying to understand like what I've actually done, like, what I brought my son to be. But yeah, he was there for like 2 hours, just trying to like rearrange the words, trying to figure out everything out. And he couldn't do it himself, so he's a pretty smart guy. But yeah. So my conclusion to this is we all have a responsibility to the truth, and we all have a responsibility to kind of share things which are factual and to read past the headline. So I want to leave you with a question, that's, are you misinformed? And if so, how misinformed do you think you are? Do you take things at face value? And also, do you share things that are probably not really based on facts, they're just your opinion? And are you just hoping that people will believe what you want them to? are you trying to manipulate people to, like, design to me is kind of manipulation. So sometimes when I'm designing, I feel like I'm partly manipulating people, and you know, the ethics of that I'm not too sure of yet. But yeah, I want to ask you a question. What truths and lies do you tell yourself every day? For example, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be, but you've all been great. So thank you very much.